Ladies and gentlemen, as Chancellor, it's a pleasure for me, on behalf of the Senate and the Council, to formally declare this degree congregation open. I hope and I'm sure you'll have a very enjoyable ceremony. A very warm welcome to all of you here, students, friends, relatives, and will you now please be seated?
Civic guests, parents, friends and graduands, as Vice-Chancellor, I am delighted to welcome you to this degree congregation. It is a celebration for all those who graduate today. We celebrate your many achievements that culminate in the award of a degree from a major international research and teaching-led university. The degrees you have achieved are among the best turned in by Leicester graduates over the years. Many congratulations to you all. Today is your day. It is very special for you and your families, and we hope that you will continue to follow the fortunes of your university that has developed a very distinguished record. We are a university with 23,000 students, 4,000 staff, and a turnover of £281 million. So we are a very large business, but with education at the heart of all we do. And I should say, universities must never forget that they are universities first and foremost, working in the fields of research that needs to be supported by government, and in teaching, which needs to be supported by each and every university, as it is core business for our success. We think that research and teaching are of equal importance, and we know that research influences teaching, as you have been taught by people who are leaders in their field. For us, having students taught by leading researchers is key to your development and is an indicator of the way you can become inspired. We hope that many of you will seek further inspiration by pursuing a postgraduate career, either immediately or on graduation, or while doing a full-time job. Distance learning opportunities open up, for example. All universities make major contributions to the communities in which they are located, to economic development, to sport, to culture and the arts. This year, the university is celebrating the 13th anniversary of its annual sculpture show in our Botanic Gardens, exhibiting work from many nationally and internationally acclaimed sculptors. I would strongly encourage you to visit the show, which is free and open until the end of October. We do, however, live in challenging times, and government funding for higher education, in common with other public services, is being cut. However, we need to continue to invest and to persuade government to invest in areas including research, the capital programme of universities, and to make sure there is an appropriate infrastructure to conduct world-leading research and teaching. We ourselves need to continue to invest in our estate. We need to continue to hold high-quality events on our campus, to attract rising stars to the academic team, and maintain our estate in ways that attract the best students who are quite rightly becoming more focused on value for money. We hope that you will continue your association with the university by supporting us in the future through the many activities of the Alumni Office, whose members are present today and can provide you with details about keeping in touch. Leicester has been at the forefront of major discoveries throughout its history. Many of you will know Sir Alec Jeffreys discovered DNA genetic fingerprinting in 1984, And shortly before that, Professor Ken Pounds discovered black holes in the universe during the 1970s and continues this work to this day, looking at supermassive black holes. The university is also world-renowned for the work of W.G. Hoskins in the field of English local history, who wrote the definitive book in the area, The Making of the English Landscape. Professor Jim Halloran developed the study of mass communications here in Leicester and worldwide. Indeed, only at the beginning of this week, I signed off a bid for a major conference to come to, international conference to come to Leicester, which was the organisation that Jim Halloran had been president of some 50 years ago. Professor John Swales in the medical school worked on the area of blood pressure and indeed wrote the definitive textbook in the field. And finally, as another example, Norbert Elias focused on the sociological analysis of everyday life, which has become a classic 18-volume edition. Now, this is all important for the context of looking at the King in the Car Park, because the King in the Car Park is one of many discoveries that Leicester has been involved in, and in this particular context was led by Richard Buckley from the University Archaeological team, and together with colleagues in archaeology and ancient history, he also involved people from genetics, engineering, pathology, history, and much, much more in making this highly publicised discovery of the remains of Richard III in a local car park, bringing the university to the attention of the world's media and developing our relationship with the city, the county, and the cathedral. As a result of our work, the university continues to be highly successful and has been placed 14th in the Times Good University Guide and 19th in the Complete University Guide. Now, we treat these data very sensitively, and we look at whether they give an indication as to what might be regarded as the best guide to higher education. Last year, when the Guardian put us 13th, I concluded that that was the best guide. So looking at it this year, I think between the Times and the Complete University Guide, it has to be the Times as the most reliable guide to higher education in the UK. We are also in the top 2% of universities in the world and have received an award from the Times Higher magazine every year since 2007. This is really quite some achievement for both my academic colleagues and my colleagues in corporate services, as people from different parts of the university have won these prestigious awards. We also won this year the Queen's Anniversary Prize for Higher and Further Education. These prestigious biennial awards are part of the UK's National Honours System and are the highest form of national recognition open to a UK university. A prize winner must be able to demonstrate outstanding work at world-class level to receive an award. This is the third time the university has won a Queen's Anniversary Prize in 2 decades. And indeed, previous awards were for physics and in turn for genetics. This year, the award has been given for interconnected research and expertise in history, heritage, and archaeology, highlighted by the discovery of Richard III. We are delighted that the team who involved in this discovery have been honoured for their long record of exceptional archaeological research and public engagement, building up an expertise in the city of Leicester for over 30 years. And indeed, when you go to see the visitors centre and go into the cathedral, do remember that none of this highly significant work would have been possible without the involvement of my university colleagues. But our success is all very well. What I imagine you are thinking about is your success and your future. Clearly, employability is very important, particularly for those people not going on to postgraduate study. In the current climate, there is always uncertainty, but I would advise you to hold your nerve. You have a degree from a leading university and have acquired a range of skills that will equip you for the future. I would urge you to seek every opportunity to develop your CV and continue to build on all your additional achievements recorded in your Higher Education Achievement Report, which is accessible alongside your degree certificate. Employers have shown a real interest in the HERE as it demonstrates a student's value added through additional verified activities such as volunteering, running clubs and societies, engaging in sports teams, being part of the university orchestra, and so on. The list is endless and can be used to great effect in the HERE, because that document also highlights your particular strengths that have been developed both academically and extramurally throughout the course. Employability is important to us and to me personally, hence my delight at being able to develop the HERE on a national scale to give all students an advantage in the labour market. Our Career Development Service will also be delighted to continue to work with you to further develop your portfolio and increase your opportunities. We want you to be proud of your achievements at Leicester and to continue your connection with the university. This means letting us know how you're getting on and letting us help you when we can. All universities participate in the destination survey that takes place 6 months after you graduate. Do let us know how you're getting on when the Careers Service contacts you. If you are yet to find a graduate job, then the Careers Service can still help. You can access our advice and guidance services by telephone, by email, or in person, and indeed you can contact members of the Career Development Service in the marquee on Central Campus later this morning, because there are still graduate internships on offer within the university and also with local employers, and they're all paid at appropriate rates. So from that point of view, people are ready to help you right from the end of this graduation ceremony. Now, before I close, I'd just like to tell you about an event in degree ceremonies that have become known as the Vice-Chancellor's competition, namely, who can applaud loudest and longest. Now, clearly, you are the fourth group of people that are in here this week, and so I can give you a bit of, a few hot tips on how things are going. Tuesday, I wouldn't even worry about. Not in the running anymore. Wednesday morning, we thought was very good, but actually, yesterday afternoon, your colleagues in science and engineering really demonstrated that they could really go with it. And right from the beginning, they demonstrated this very clearly. So in order to give you a bit of an opportunity and a head start, I thought a bit of a warm-up to begin with would be very helpful. And so I would like to ask you, the graduating class of 2014, to join me in a round of applause to show your appreciation for your parents, relatives, friends and sponsors who have supported you through university. Well, very consistent and very good, but of course yesterday they had 2 or 3 goes at it. So, but I'm sure you've demonstrated that you're able to rise above this and will actually have a sharp finish during the course of the morning. But the main thing is to have a really enjoyable day with us. And on behalf of the whole university, I wish you every success in your future lives and careers.
Jennifer Clack is Professor and Curator of Vertebrate Paleontology at the University Museum of Zoology in Cambridge and a Fellow of Darwin College in Cambridge. Her research in vertebrate paleontology centers on what is known as the fish tetrapod transition, which is the transition from fish to 4-footed amphibians and reptiles that began some 370 million years ago. This was in the late Devonian period when the global climate was warm, the year had 400 days, and tetrapods were beginning to acquire limbs and organ systems for breathing and hearing that would enable them to live on land, or as the scientists say, give them terrestrial capabilities. This is a key stage in our understanding of the evolutionary process, and the quality and importance of Jenny's work has been widely recognized. She has been elected as a Fellow of the Royal Society and an honorary member of the US American Academy of Arts and Sciences and its Swedish equivalent, the Swedish Royal Academy of Sciences. She has been garlanded with medals in the UK from the Geological Society of Glasgow and in the US from the National Academy of Sciences. She's also been awarded an honorary doctorate by University of Chicago. Now, how, you might wonder, does one rise to such heights in the profession? In Jenny Clack's case, the story begins in a Manchester suburb where she grew up and as a child developed an interest in fossils. She attended the girls' part of Bolton School and then went on to study at University of Newcastle. In her final year, she took an option in vertebrate paleontology taught by Alec Panchin. The subject caught her imagination, but there was no funding available for postgraduate research. Jenny had, however, gained some museum experience by working in the Bolton Museum and Art Gallery, and on the strength of that experience made the wise decision to apply for the graduate certificate course in museum studies offered by the University of Leicester. This formative year in Leicester became the springboard for her first toehold in the profession, that of a display technician in the Natural History Department of Birmingham City Museum and Art Gallery. Several years later, she moved to Birmingham's Museum Education Department as officer in charge of natural history education. Jenny's boss suggested that she undertake some part-time research. So she wrote to her old tutor in Newcastle, Alec Panchin. His reply, which I translate from the arcane language of paleontology, was that there was a thing that looked a bit like a lizard in the Bradford Museum, that it was the specimen that had been used to define the species to which it belonged, and that it had never been described in detail because the Bradford Museum would not allow it to be taken to a proper laboratory. Jenny took up the suggestion, discovered that the Bradford Museum had changed its loans policy, had it sent to the lab in Newcastle, and soon discovered that the specimen had a little lump that turned out to be a brain case. Alec Panchin declared there to be a PhD in this discovery and secured a grant. Jenny resigned from her secure job in a museum to take up the uncertain career of a PhD student. A year later, she made a second discovery in the same specimen, a little bone that came from an ear. This little beast not only had a brain, but also showed the early stages of an ear to be used for life on land. These discoveries resolved problems of long standing that had defeated other scientists, and Jenny was launched as a serious scientist. The combination of experience in good museums, work on a PhD that would embody significant scientific discoveries, and a professional qualification in museum studies from the University of Leicester rendered Jenny an ideal candidate for a post in a research-active museum, and soon she was selected for the post of assistant curator in the University Museum of Zoology in Cambridge, the museum in which she is now curator of vertebrate paleontology. Her responsibilities have grown steadily. As a curator, she's involved in activities such as planning displays of vertebrates, specimen care, and assisting the work of academic visitors. As a professor in the university's Department of Zoology, she teaches undergraduates and takes practicals and also conducts research at the forefront of her subject. As a museum professional, Jenny knows how to engage with the public beyond the universities, and so has an ability unusual in professors to mediate her research to a wide audience. Her research on the origin of tetrapods has been featured in several television programs, including BBC Two's Horizon and BBC Four's Beautiful Minds. Jenny Clack's research has led to a renewal of her link with the University of Leicester. She is collaborating with colleagues in our Department of Geology on a consortium project whose members are studying the causes and consequences of the mass extinction at the end of the Devonian period and its effects on environment, climate, and the evolution of terrestrial ecosystems, especially the appearance of terrestriality in tetrapods. This collaboration was celebrated earlier this year when Jenny delivered the 55th annual Bennett Lecture entitled Life, Death and Resurrection in the Late Paleozoic. Mr. Chancellor, on the authority of the Senate and the Council, I present to you Jennifer Clack that you may confer upon her the degree of Doctor of Science.
Well done, Jennifer. Warm congratulations. What a great story that was. Anyway, very, very well done. Yeah.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Vice-Chancellor, fellow friends and fellow graduates, I must say how honoured and also how touched I am to receive this honorary degree. And the story you've just heard tells you that you never know how things are going to turn out. So your life can take peculiar turns that lead to unintended or unforeseen futures. I never ever imagined when I was doing my museum studies course here that I would end up getting an honorary doctorate from Leicester, or that I would be working closely with colleagues from Leicester on a grand project which excites us all. While I was here in Leicester, back in the early days of the Museum Studies Department, I actually spent quite a lot of my time singing with St. Nicholas Church Choir, which was the university church, and with the University of Leicester Choir. And the last time I stood on this stage was while I was singing the Mozart Requiem with the university choir. And I pretty much learned it by heart at that stage. So it gives me great pleasure to be back here, and I would like to thank you all once again for awarding me this honour.
Will all graduands please stand?
And now we come to the ceremony of coming up onto the platform and being congratulated and applauded, no doubt, in the ways that you can do it that no one else can. So by the authority of the Senate, I admit candidates both present and absent to the several degrees for which they are presented. Now, if you'll all be seated, please, and then the marshals will tell you when to come up on the stage.
Mr. Chancellor, I present the following candidates for their degrees. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Thomas Knott.
Well done, Thomas. Doctor.
Samuel Matthews.
Congratulations to you, Doctor.
Leanne Milner.
Doctor now.
Sarah Owen. Fariba Sotudenya. For the degree of Master of Science in Sustainable Management of Natural Resources, Aifa Mazhar.
Congratulations to you, very well done.
For the degree of Master of Science in Geographical Information Systems, Adebabola Oba. For the degree of Master of Geology, David Ainsley Smith.
Well done, David.
Joseph Bourne. Winner of the BNOC Kanoko Golf Prize and the Mineralogical Society Award, Alexander Clark.
Well done, Alexander. 2 prizes.
Winner of the Rhoda Bennett Prize and the PES-GB Individual Mapping Award, Lisa Craddock.
Well done, Lisa. 2 prizes. Well done.
Robert Crooks. Michael Hems.
Well done, Michael.
Matthew Lally.
Well done, Matthew.
William MacLeod.
Well done.
Jonathan Moles.
Well done, Jonathan.
Peter Sayce.
Well done, Peter.
Gregory Smith. Winner of the Dennis Field Award, Tara Stevens.
Well done, Tara. Nice welcome that was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Sapphire Wanma. For the degree of Master of Geology in Geology with a Year Abroad, Elizabeth Alexander.
Well done, Elizabeth.
For the degree of Master of Geology in Applied and Environmental Geology, Samuel Bicknell.
Well done, Samuel.
Darryl Blanks. Stephanie Buffy Rawlings.
So nice smile.
Winner of the Applied and Environmental Geology Prize, Matthew Booth.
Prize winner, eh, Matthew?
Michael Convery.
Well done, Michael.
Winner of the Applied and Environmental Geology Prize, Helen Ford.
Well done, Helen. Prize winner, well done.
Matthew Lehman.
Well done, Matthew.
Amelia Lease. Winner of the Micromind Exploration Award, Gregory Potter.
Well done, Gregory. Exploration, eh?
Grace Shepherd.
Hey, what a nice girl.
Bradley Staniforth. Alex Walsh. For the degree of Master of Geology in Geology with Geophysics, winner of the Shell Geophysics Prize, Timothy Atherton.
Well done, Timothy. Congratulations. Prize winner.
Winner of the Dennis Field Award, Laura Brooker.
Well done, Laura. Congratulations to you.
Leanne Burtonshaw.
Well done, Leanne.
Alice Ramsden.
Well done, Alice. Nice welcome, that wasn't it?
Charlotte Spitter. For the degree of Master of Geology in Geology with Geophysics with a year abroad, Sophie Morell.
Well done, Sophie. Congratulations to you.
For the degree of Master of Geology in Geology with Paleobiology, Theodore Beecroft.
Well done, Theodore. Congratulations.
Winner of the BNOC Kanoko Gulf Prize, the Paleontological Association Prize, the Geology Alumni Society Prize, the College of Science and Engineering Prize, the PSGB Individual Mapping Award, and the East Midlands Geological Society Beryl Whittaker Prize, Rowan Desjardins. Winner of the Paleontological Association Prize and the Micro Paleontological Society Student Award, Christopher Stocker.
Well done, you're doing 2 prizes. Well, good stuff.
Winner of the United States Geological Survey PRISM Paleoclimate Prize, Yasmin Yonan.
Well done, Yasmin. Congratulations to you.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Geology, Thomas Bear.
Well done, Thomas. Congratulations.
Thomas Bendel.
Good stuff, Thomas. Well done.
Stephanie Boutwell.
Well done, Stephanie. Congratulations.
Stephen Footers.
Well done, Stephen.
Deanna Gill.
Well done, Ronald. Well done.
Jack Gray.
Congratulations. Well done.
Ed Llewellyn.
Congratulations.
Lewis Mason.
Well done, Lewis. Congratulations.
Hannah Plunkett.
Well done.
Elaine Selwood.
Well done, indeed. Congratulations.
James Shepherd.
Congratulations.
Oliver Smith.
Well done, Oliver.
Olivia Smith.
Well done, Olivia. Good stuff.
Connor Southall.
Well done, Thomas.
Joanna Sutton.
Well done, Joanne.
Calvin Tang. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Applied and Environmental Geology, Amber Bateman.
Well done. Congratulations to you.
Sam Bowden.
Well done. Congratulations.
Craig Chapman.
Good stuff, Craig.
Winner of the Applied and Environmental Geology Prize and the Institution of Materials, Minerals and Mining Prize, Matthew Hewitson.
Well done. 2 prizes. Well done. Well done.
Rachel Leach.
Well done, Rachel.
Jack Lyons.
Well done, Jack. Congratulations.
Radoslav Marinov.
Congratulations. Well done.
Alice Mitchinson. Gemma Moore. Robert Moore. Shannon Nicholson. Matthew Woollerton. The degree of Bachelor of Science in Geology with Geophysics, Dominic Horn. Farah Safri. Samuel Scott. Christopher Thurban Whaling. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Geology with Paleobiology, Merlin Magnuson. Charlie Thompson. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Geography, Catherine Bevan. Joe Boot. Winner of the John H. Patterson Prize, Robin Cattle. Connie Clark. Jessica Clark.
Well done, Jessica. You're not six with you, are you? Two Clarks. No, no.
Daniel Cooper.
That was a nice welcome, wasn't it, Danny? Well done, well done.
Emily Dowdswell. Charlotte Dutton.
Well done, Charlotte. Congratulations.
Dominic Edwards.
Well done, Dominic.
Laura Elvin.
Well done, well done.
Catherine Farrin.
Well done, Catherine. Nice smile, that was it.
Stephanie Hall.
Well done, Stephanie. Congratulations.
Elliot Harper. Jade Holloman.
Well done, congratulations.
Jacob Holmes. Catherine Lake.
Nice cheer, Catherine. Well done.
Alex Lawrence.
Well done, congratulations.
Thomas Mealy.
Well done, Thomas.
Winner of the College of Science and Engineering Prize, Eve Morley.
Well done, Eve. Prize winner. Can't do better than that.
Claire Nuttall.
Well done, Claire. Congratulations.
Nico Pironi.
Well done, Nico. Congratulations.
Mona Shurchin.
Congratulations. Well done.
Alex Sides.
I like the little wave, Alex. Very good.
Zoe Stevens.
Well done, Zoe. Congratulations.
Joseph Sykes.
Good stuff, Joseph. Well done.
Yuk Sang.
Congratulations to you. Well done indeed. Yeah.
Sarah Wyman.
Well done, Sarah. Good stuff. Yeah.
Nathaniel Young.
Congratulations. Well done.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Geography with a year abroad, Alex Finnegan.
Well done, Alex. Congratulations.
Alice Hudson.
Congratulations to you. Well done.
Stanley Ingram.
Congratulations. 6 foot 4. Well done.
Winner of the Norman Pye Prize, Rosalind Nichols.
Well done, Robert. And a prize winner as well, eh? Well done indeed. Yeah.
Francesca Zander.
What a nice welcome that was. Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physical Geography, James Bowden.
Well, you've got some support of that there, Jake. Well done.
Winner of the Bruce May Dissertation Prize, Bethany Byrne.
Well done, Bethany. You've got some supporters out there, haven't you?
Luke Downey.
Well done, Luke.
Richard Hackett.
Well done, Richard. Congratulations.
Priya Lakshmi McQuaid.
Congratulations to you. Well done.
Olivia Skevington.
Oh, cheering you anyway. Well done, anyway.
Philip Wright. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Geography, Christopher Beaver. Benjamin Bennett.
Well done, Benjamin.
Alexander Benson.
Well done.
Miranda Botcherby.
Well done, Miranda. Congratulations.
Laura Butler.
Well done, Laura.
David Chandler.
Congratulations to you. Well done.
Stephen Chieslewitz.
Congratulations.
Joseph Coleman.
Congratulations. Well done.
Hannah Collins.
Well done.
Douglas Crichton.
Well done, indeed, Douglas. Congratulations.
Jessica Daly.
Well done, Jessica.
Georgina Dawson.
Very nice welcome. Congratulations.
Daniel Dixon.
Well done, Daniel.
Shane Dowd.
Well done, Shane.
Thomas Duncan.
Well done, Thomas. Congratulations to you.
Jack Elsey.
Well done, Jack. Congratulations.
Lucinda Farnborough.
Well done, Lucinda. Congratulations to you.
Kirsty Fleming.
Congratulations to you. Well done.
Eleanor Flynn.
Well done, Alan. Congratulations to you.
Thomas Fung.
Well done, indeed. Congratulations.
Alexander Geely.
Well done, indeed.
Joseph Gilman.
Congratulations.
Robert Gregory.
Oh, I like the fact that one. Congratulations.
Helena Hastings.
Congratulations. Well done.
James Hawkins.
Well done, James.
Timothy Jameson.
Congratulations.
Donna Leach.
Well done. Well done, indeed.
Tanith Ludlam.
Congratulations.
Furniture Lycett. Victoria Marsh.
Well done, Victoria. Well done.
Tanya McQuilkin.
Congratulations to you. Well done.
Peter Mennell.
Well done, Peter.
Shanice Moore.
Well done, Janice. Congratulations to you.
Kelsey Morris.
Well done, Kelsey. Well done, indeed.
Winner of the Norman Pie Prize, Miremba Musisi.
Prize winner. Well done.
Rosemary Muston.
Well done, Rosie. What a nice welcome you've got.
Karishma Nafsaria.
Congratulations to you. Well done.
Edward Parker.
Well done, Edward.
Alexander Quinn.
Congratulations. Well done.
Alice Reed.
Well done, Alice. Well done.
Rebecca Selves.
Well done, Rebecca. Good stuff. Well done.
Hannah Smith.
Congratulations to you. Well done.
Winner of the David Turnock Memorial Prize, Anne Stevenson.
Well done, Anne. Prize winner as well. Very good. Well done.
Matthew Stone. Emily Taylor.
Well done, Emily. Good stuff.
Winner of the John H. Patterson Prize, the College of Science and Engineering Prize, the David Turnock Memorial Prize, and the John H. Patterson Prize, Amy Walker.
Well done, Amy. What a list of prizes. Very well done.
Paul Whitehouse. John Woodcock. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Geography with a year abroad, Katie Adubi.
Well done, Katie. Good for you. Well done.
Gemma Skelhorn. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Human Geography, Laura Cochrane.
Well done, Laura. Very good.
Patrick Feisten. Nathan Halloran.
That's a nice welcome. Well done. Well done.
Winner of the Geography Head of Department Prize, Andrew Holdershaw.
That's a fine prize to win. Congratulations to you.
Alexander Jones.
Congratulations to you.
Oliver Jones.
Well done, Oliver.
Robert MacDonald.
Well done, Robert.
Mark Munieri.
Congratulations to you. Well done.
Winner of the William Kirk Prize, Milan Sud. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Human Geography with a year abroad, Alexandra Rees. Mr. Chancellor, I present to you this academic colleague who has been nominated for the award of a University Teaching Fellowship. In recognition of his outstanding, innovative and sustained contribution to the teaching of petrophysics, Professor Mike Lovell.
I used to teach when I was teaching teacher thing. I'm really pleased about these awards. Very, very
Professor Richard Fortey is a rare combination of a distinguished scientist and exceptionally talented communicator of science to a general audience. He is the world's leading authority on a group of fossil organisms known as the trilobites, but has also written a range of highly accessible and entertaining books on a much wider range of scientific topics. Richard grew up in West London. His father was a keen amateur naturalist, but Richard realized at a very early age that he was different. In his own words, a born natural historian, and he could see no other career. He was soon traveling all over the country to search for fossils and began an obsession with a particular group of fossils, the trilobites, that never left him. It was obvious what he would read at Cambridge, natural sciences, and equally apparent that he would gravitate to the Department of Geology to study under the leading authorities in his field at that time. A PhD was just as inevitable, and the young Richard then set about forging his career in research. Like many young people, he'd been inspired by the great museums of London, and he dreamed of working within their walls. By serendipity, the perfect opportunity arose at just the right time. He started as a research fellow on trilobites in the Natural History Museum in 1970, and he's never left. Surrounded by the material he needed, with ample time for scholarship and reflection, he found himself in a scientific nirvana, and his reputation soon began to grow. Rising steadily through the ranks of the Scientific Civil Service, as it was then known, he soon became an authority on the classification and ecology of trilobites and graptolites of the early Ordovician age, several 100 million years ago. His work in Spitsbergen brought to light a completely unknown Ordovician fauna, and his work in South Wales doubled the known British trilobite species of that age. He pioneered methods of phylogenetic systematics, ways of classifying fossils, which are now widely accepted, and his papers combining zoological and functional approaches are undoubted classics. He was the first to distinguish paleo-environmental controls on trilobite distribution and to recognize their natural associations. The recognition of depth-controlled fossil assemblages permitted the reconstruction of ancient continental margins and enhanced our understanding of the geological history of the North Atlantic region. Richard was awarded the prestigious Lyell Medal of the Geological Society of London in 1996, and in 1997 elected a Fellow of the Royal Society, sealing his scientific eminence. It is difficult to find anyone who knows more about trilobites than Richard Fortey, and it perhaps is no surprise that when David Attenborough wanted to make a programme about them, the first thing he said was, "Send for Richard." Richard had always enjoyed writing and longed to break free of the stifling conventions of the 200 or more scientific papers he's written in his academic life. At Cambridge, he'd studied the history and philosophy of science and was inspired by the writing of Oliver Sacks to tell the story of science in a different way, starting with the personal experience of the scientist rather than the theory of the science itself. He'd written one popular book on fossils in 1982, but his big break followed a chance encounter with an enlightened publisher who commissioned The Hidden Landscape, which hit the shelves in 1993. It was a great success, winning the Natural World Book of the Year award, and emboldened Richard to follow his writing career. His next book, Life, an Unauthorized Biography, was even more successful. It was nominated as one of the 10 books of the year by the New York Times, was shortlisted for the Rompeleng Prize, and has sold more than 100,000 copies, having been translated into 8 languages. Since then, Richard has not looked back. Trilobite, Eyewitness to Evolution, told Richard's own story and was equally successful, being shortlisted for the Samuel Johnson Award in 2001. The Earth, an Intimate History, was published in 2004 and shortlisted for the Avantis Prize. Richard has a lively and engaging style of writing, quite unlike the scientific stereotype, and he brings the scientific world stunningly alive for readers who might imagine it a dry and dusty place. His recent work, Dry Storeroom No. 1, is a compelling tale of the nefarious goings-on in the corridors of the Natural History Museum, which certainly challenges the image we all have of those who work in museums. Most recently, Richard is to be seen on our TV screens in the Survivor series, Rock Pools, and Fossil Wonderlands. Richard held the Collier Chair in the Public Understanding of Science at the University of Bristol in 2002 to 2003, and is visiting professor of paleobiology at the University of Oxford. He was awarded the Frink Medal of the Zoological Society of London, the Lewis Thomas Prize from Rockefeller University, the Zoological Medal of the Linnaean Society of London, and in 1996, the Michael Faraday Prize of the Royal Society for Science Communication. Richard has followed his dream from a very young age with spectacular success. There are many brilliant scientists and plenty of good science writers, but combining the two is a very special achievement, and Richard is a shining example to us all. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and the Council, I present to you Professor Richard Fortey, that you may confer upon him the honorary degree of Doctor of Science.
Well done, Richard. Oh, what a lively career you've had, haven't you? Anyway, congratulations.
Well, I have to say at the outset, thank you very much. There are not many times in your life when you can stand up in public and hear nice things being said about yourself. And the first reaction tends to be, do they really mean me? Then the temptation might be to attribute to virtue what is actually a matter of luck. I think overall I have been lucky all my life. Not least, I have spent most of my life more or less pleasing myself. When I got my job at the Natural History Museum in London, it was rather like somebody saying, as I put it in one of my books, amuse yourself for money. I was fortunate in being the right man for a vacant post, itself a matter of the previous right man having emigrated to Canada at just the right time. I had even arrived at my favourite study area, paleontology, by a series of lucky breaks. Though, of course, I had been fascinated by trilobites even as a schoolboy, I never thought I should finish up making them my livelihood. And any paleontologist will tell you that finding interesting fossils is often a matter of lucky breaks in the most literal sense, the right split of a piece of rock. Then there is the good fortune of teaming up with the best and most agreeable colleagues. Many of them, I might say, graduates of this university. Well, I've had that luck in spades, for science is more and more a collaboration, not a solo performance. I suppose my public life can be divided into three sections. I could almost say careers. 25 years devoted mostly to research, directed at the academic community. 15 years during which I wrote books to explain science to a much wider audience, while still keeping the research aloft. And the last few years where I have added television into an already busy life. And all along, I should confess, a private passion for fungi, on which I have carried out modest research from home. I've always felt that academics should not sit in some ivory tower of a laboratory, but have a duty to explain their special viewpoint to the layman, and that without dumbing down. There is still as much pseudoscience today as there ever was, and it needs to be countered. Still, I was fortunate, as ever, to have an editor who trusted me to write popular science in the way that I wanted to, rather than following earlier formulae. And, in a strange way, I was able to mine my previous life for material in a way I could never have anticipated when I started out. With each of these changes in career, it was possible to reach a larger and larger number of people, though I would never say that this is the only, or indeed any, measure of relative importance. Detailed research for a few fellow enthusiasts can be as rewarding as anything on a wider platform. But the final twist of luck I wish to mention also serves to make a connection with this university. I had been told by various independent production companies that my books would make good television, but nothing ever came of their bids to do so. That is, until I was invited by Sir David Attenborough, as you've heard, good fortune again, to appear with him on one particular television programme where he wanted trilobites to take centre stage. After that, a BBC high-up suddenly seemed to know who I was, and a series based on my most recent book was not long behind. Sir David, of course, grew up on the campus of Leicester University as the son of the second Vice-Chancellor. He learned his natural history here, and I believe has himself been on this platform in receipt of an honour. That particular Leicester connection provides me with an excuse to elaborate on another one. This university is of world distinction when it comes to paleontology. It was set on this track while I was still a student by Professor Peter Sylvester Bradley, who inspired a generation of distinguished alumni to go on to make their own worldwide reputations. Some of them stayed in Leicester to ensure that the home department would advance from strength to strength, which it has done, even though the financial climate gets ever more challenging. So the honour that you have kindly bestowed on me today is, I like to think, partly in recognition of the honoured place that paleontology holds within the University of Leicester. And that isn't down to luck, it's down to consistent excellence. Thank you very much.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, as Head of the College of Medicine, Biological Sciences and Psychology, I present the following candidates for their degrees. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Lewis Collins.
Congratulations. Well done.
Greg Hudson.
Congratulations. Well done.
Woku Miret.
Congratulations. Well done.
Barbara Ottolini.
Congratulations. Well done.
Nadia Permesu.
Congratulations. Well done.
Gunjan Wig.
Congratulations. Well done.
For the degree of Master of Biological Sciences, Stephen Terry. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Biological Sciences, Ghazale Alimo Haradia. Lin Ang.
Congratulations.
Jayanesh Arunthavanathan. Oluwamudopi Aini.
Congratulations.
Rian Benham. Devashwa Bala.
Congratulations.
Rachel Bridger.
Congratulations.
Lucy Brooks.
Congratulations.
Marianne Cabdi.
Congratulations.
Oliver Charity.
Congratulations.
Bhavesh Charan.
Congratulations.
Reshma Charan.
Congratulations.
James Checkley.
Congratulations.
Yanis Christodoulidis.
Congratulations.
Sassithorn Chunchavanshal.
Congratulations.
Joseph Craig.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Genetics Prize, Shezan Dada.
Congratulations. Well done.
Winner of the Novartis Second Year Module Prize, Saad Deaji.
Congratulations. Well done on your time.
Zoe Dimitriou.
Congratulations.
Nicola Eld.
Congratulations.
David English.
Congratulations.
Lynn Foster.
Congratulations.
Gilda George.
Congratulations.
Nathan Gill.
Congratulations.
Thomas Gribben.
Congratulations.
Hafi Zamzanawi.
Congratulations.
Mohan Harihar.
Congratulations.
Charles Haynes.
Congratulations.
Rebecca Hayward.
Congratulations.
Alba Davis.
Congratulations.
Robert Holdbrook.
Congratulations.
Charles Holland.
Congratulations.
Samuel Holt.
Congratulations.
Daniel Hughes.
Congratulations.
Mohammed Ibrahim.
Congratulations.
Chloe Jagpal.
Congratulations.
William Jarvis.
Congratulations.
Alan Jones.
Congratulations. Well done.
Winner of the May Fund Prize in Biochemistry and the Department Undergraduate Prize, Louise Jukes.
Congratulations. Well done.
Andrea Kikuri.
Congratulations. Well done.
Sajan Paul Carver.
Congratulations.
Jack Knight.
Congratulations.
Matthew Lacey.
Congratulations.
Alwyn Lee.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Oxford University Press Prize and the Alfred Pomerantz Prize, Nicola Leto.
Congratulations. And well done on your prize, please. Well done.
Thomas Leicester.
Congratulations.
Daniel Loach.
Congratulations.
Anna Nason.
Congratulations.
Nicola Mason.
Congratulations. Well done.
Tage Matthews Palmer.
Congratulations.
Adam MacDonald.
Congratulations.
Emma Mitchell.
Congratulations.
Despina Nathaniel.
Congratulations.
Benedict Agoma.
Congratulations.
Chris Norman.
Congratulations.
Andrew O'Leary.
Congratulations.
Emilia Passaro.
Congratulations.
Sejal Patel.
Congratulations.
Tasmin Patel.
Congratulations.
Jake Pedlingham.
Congratulations.
Aaron Cooney.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Physiological Society Undergraduate Prize and the Cell Physiology and Pharmacology Experimental Prize, Daniel Price.
Congratulations and well done on your prizes.
Shamim Rahman.
Congratulations.
Helen Rowland.
Congratulations.
Ponsapa Shurit.
Congratulations.
Paldeep Sidhu.
Congratulations.
Tanvi Sina.
Congratulations.
Gintare Smaguruskaite.
Congratulations.
Ashley Southall.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Genetics Prize, Maxima Spanakis.
Congratulations and well done on your prize.
Agata Stachowiak.
Congratulations.
Sonia Suleiman.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Henry Walter Bates Prize and the Alfred Pomerantz Prize, Lucy Sullivan.
Congratulations and well done on your prizes. Nice to see you again.
Maximilian Swidovek.
Congratulations.
Catherine Thornley.
Congratulations.
Yusuf Tilley.
Congratulations.
Beth Upton.
Congratulations.
Temiyemi Uaha.
Congratulations.
Robert Warburton.
Congratulations.
Edward Webber.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Peter Sneath Prize, Emma Whittle.
Congratulations and well done on your prize.
Abigail Wilson.
Congratulations.
Kane Withers Stewart.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Novartis Best Student in Third Year Pharmacology Prize, Emily Wright.
Congratulations.
Thomas Young.
Congratulations.
Rhiannon Zimela.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Biological Sciences with a year abroad, Felicia Dasado Joseph.
Congratulations.
Adam Lightfoot.
Congratulations.
Victoria Thatcher.
Congratulations. Thank you.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Medical Biochemistry, Pearl Ag-Bonifol.
Congratulations. Well done.
Jigishu Ahmed.
Congratulations.
Nadurima Basu.
Congratulations.
Rubina Begum.
Congratulations.
Rebecca Bird.
Congratulations.
Lee Burkett.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Nulia Che.
Congratulations.
Charlene Scher.
Congratulations.
Petronella Downing.
Congratulations.
Temitope Fadina.
Congratulations. Well done.
Folasade Faloro.
Congratulations.
Aaron Green.
Congratulations. Well done.
Amy Gregory Jones.
Congratulations.
Alice Howarth.
Congratulations.
Philip Higgs.
Congratulations.
Jesus Milan.
Congratulations. Fine. Thank you.
Andrew Jobbins.
Congratulations.
Lucy Kelly.
Congratulations.
Kin Lau.
Congratulations.
Dinio Matiza.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thomas Penfound.
Congratulations.
Eva Drisnovitz.
Congratulations.
Al Mutassem Saleh.
Congratulations.
Ahmed Samat.
Congratulations.
Anna Scapins.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Departmental Undergraduate Prize, Nicholas Sillett.
Congratulations and well done on your prize. Well done.
Andrew Slater.
Congratulations.
Nurul Suleiman.
Congratulations. Well done.
Wai Tang.
Congratulations.
Amara Tariq.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Medical Biochemistry Prize, Sneha Upadhyay.
Congratulations. Well done on your prize.
Helois Vaalaman.
Congratulations.
Chengchuan Yin.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Medical Biochemistry with a year in industry, Rachel Moore.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thomas Webber.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Medical Genetics, Abdul Khalik Al-Sadi.
Congratulations. Well done.
Winner of the Medical Genetics Prize, Theodosios Balaskas.
Congratulations and well done on your prize. Well done.
Daniel Barker.
Congratulations.
Heather Carney.
Congratulations.
Georgina Heighton.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Noeline Nadauja.
Congratulations.
Helen Debussy.
Congratulations.
Rory O'Sullivan.
Congratulations.
Kavit Patel.
Congratulations.
Salakan Rai.
Congratulations.
Samuel Rickaby.
Congratulations.
Bethan Rogojski.
Congratulations. Well done.
Adam Sant.
Congratulations.
Raisa Sheikh.
Congratulations.
Joshua
Well done.
Story.
Congratulations.
Ravinder Suman.
Congratulations.
Kwezia To.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Medical Genetics, European Union, Pardina Samson Fisale.
Congratulations. Well done.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Medical Physiology, Jonathan Abbott. Winner of the Margaret Wallace Henry Prize, the Novartis Best Student in Third Year Pharmacology Prize, the Novartis Second Year Module Prize, the Departmental Medical Physiology Prize, the College of Medicine, Biological Sciences and Psychology Prize, and the Society of Biology Top Bioscience Student Award. Saeeda Mariam Abdullah. Nazira Al-Bagothi. Thomas Andrews.
Congratulations.
Emma Bradley.
Congratulations.
Winner of the Cell Physiology and Pharmacology Analytical Project Prize, Callum Burns.
Congratulations. Well done on the prize.
Sophie Draycott.
Congratulations.
Alina Finch.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Alice Gravitt.
Congratulations.
Samantha Haylett.
Congratulations.
Rebecca Hock.
Congratulations.
Lauren Holt.
Congratulations.
Hayley Keegan.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thelma Maposa.
Congratulations.
Nikita Mistry.
Congratulations.
Tariq Farouk.
Congratulations.
Kate Neve.
Congratulations.
Ifunani Achukwu Ojeki.
Congratulations.
Olu Wamayowa Ojufetini.
Congratulations.
Hannah O'Sullivan.
Congratulations.
Shuba Rai.
Congratulations.
Jonathan Reeves.
Congratulations.
Dinesh Shah.
Congratulations.
Aisha Shackle.
Congratulations.
Sufana Sheikh.
Congratulations.
Eleanor Sleep.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Rebecca Thompson.
Congratulations.
Hannah Warren.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Medical Microbiology, Anastasia Lubke.
Congratulations. Well done.
Winner of the Medical Microbiology Prize, Adam Mohammed.
Congratulations and well done on the prize. Well done.
Esther Neto.
Congratulations.
Hajra Okai.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Rachel Skinner.
Congratulations. Well done.
Alexander Wilder.
Congratulations.
Joseph Wilkes.
Congratulations.
Kalani Wijayarathne.
Congratulations.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I present to you this academic colleague who has been nominated for the award of a University Teaching Fellowship in recognition of her outstanding contribution to the teaching of plant sciences and to improving student engagement. Dr. Shenid Dre. Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I present to you this Doctor of Philosophy student who has been nominated for a Teaching Partnership Award in recognition of her outstanding and enthusiastic contribution to the enhancement of the student learning experience in the teaching of genetics. Barbara Ottolini.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, from where I've been sitting up here, looking at the audience and all the guests, it's been a very happy ceremony. This one has lots of smiling faces and full house up in the galleries. And I can't tell you how invigorating it is when you're shaking hands with a lot of people, when people are smiling at you as they come on the stage, and you get the odd one that works the audience and punches the air, and that livens it up. And mind you, we had one yesterday who did a selfie with the Vice-Chancellor, which you always, it doesn't matter how many people there are, you always get someone that manages it first. And the day before, there was someone who kissed the stage. I think it was a second resit or something, but they kissed the stage when they arrived here. So innovation is worth a lot, and but this has been a very happy ceremony, and I think that's been greatly helped, I might say, by our two recipients of honorary degrees today. I really enjoyed, I hope you did, listening to their responses. They were surprisingly similar. We didn't know that, of course, when the awards were made, because though they're both so self-deprecating, which is always an attractive characteristic, both eminent in their fields. And what I really liked about it, I think, was the tremendous enthusiasm that they both had for their life's work, basically. And that's a wonderful thing to happen if the opportunity arises. Always do what you like doing as far as that's humanly possible. And also the thing that perhaps appealed to me even more than anything else was both of them exhibited a kind of degree of surprise that they'd ended up doing what they're doing today. I thought they were really worthy recipients of their honorary degrees, and my warmest congratulations to both of you, Jennifer and Richard. And I can only say, when I just conclude, say a few words at the last part of the ceremony, that I can certainly endorse the feeling of surprise one can sometimes get about life, because you may know, if you looked at the programme, that I am a Leicester University graduate. I was sitting exactly where you are. I can't tell you how many years ago. I'd prefer to forget about the gap, so the years that have elapsed. But if you'd have said to me, when I was sitting in the audience waiting to come out and shake hands with someone in a gown, a very warm gown, and I'd perhaps mentioned to my parents that one day I expected to be standing up here awarding the degrees, I think they'd have just told me to, lie down until the feeling passed. It would be such an unlikely proposition, and I'm sure and I hope that with all of you that you will find all sorts of fascinating, interesting, and occasionally, frankly, unbelievable turns that life can take, and we all hope, of course, that it will be a happy journey, whatever it is. But it's been quite a journey already, and I like to perhaps to reflect on that this has been the culmination for you of obviously a period of study, and one which, unless you're one of these superhuman, obviously first-class honours degrees person from the moment that you step foot into Leicester, then your journey will have been one of some doubt at times, uncertainty as to whether the course was quite what you had thought it might be, as whether you would actually be able to do it at times, whether there were hurdles that were too high to pass, whether all the other students were much cleverer than you. We all get feelings like that at times. And I would only say to you that today, for you, in that respect, is a triumph. And it's a triumph that all your friends and relatives that are up in the galleries and at the back there can share with you. So you really should be, I'm sure you are, proud of your achievement, sometimes against the odds. Something you can always fall back on and feel secure in whenever you face other challenges in whatever lies ahead. So I also hope you'll be very proud of this university. You've got every reason to be. I can boast about the university really more than the Chancellor can, because he's the one that does the work and I'm the one that makes the speeches, basically. It's not my achievement, the achievement of this university, it's the achievement of the Vice-Chancellor and the staff and of course all of you and of all your predecessors. But it is a university which has a very, very proud record, which the Vice-Chancellor's already mentioned to you, constantly and consistently in the top 20 of British university league tables. Premier League, I suppose, like Leicester City, you can say that as being a measure of us. And also an international scale, top 2%. The unending story, and it will be unending because I think there are more things to happen in the future, of the King in the Car Park, all done so much from the efforts and skills of people at this university, which has given us a kind of a public awareness worldwide in many, many respects. Recipient of another Queen's Award, as we did earlier this year at Buckingham Palace. So a whole range of reasons why, when you say I didn't just get a degree, I got a degree at Leicester University, and I hope it's you all acknowledge that. But let me say that for a university, achievements like this don't happen by accident. They take hard work, focus, determination and leadership. And the word leadership allows me to say a word about our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Sir Robert Burgess, for whom these degree ceremonies are his last before he retires in September. And I simply can say to you that Bob Burgess's 15 years, that's the length of time that he's been Leicester's Vice-Chancellor, have been years of quite remarkable commitment and achievement. Since our university was established by Royal Charter in 1957, there have been just 5 Vice-Chancellors. Bob has served longer in that hugely demanding role than any of his predecessors. And during his period in office, the university has grown both in size and in reputation. And as we've heard, his final year has been perhaps in some ways the most remarkable of them all. Now, throughout his time in office, Bob has exuded a passion for this university, for its staff, for its students, and he's had a single-mindedness in pursuit of excellence in teaching and in research, the twin tracks. So, Bob, we do salute you for a job outstandingly well done, and we wish you and Hilary every success and happiness in the future. And I think on behalf of the staff here as well, who are sitting on the stage here, many of the people you've been involved with over the years here, that on their behalf I should say thank you to you really, because I don't really know whether students always appreciate the extent to which they stimulate the whole teaching and learning environment. Students are a teaching resource essentially, and they always ask the difficult questions at some stage on a course, the questions that stimulate and make teaching such a satisfying profession, and gives you a pride in the students and their lives and all they achieve after they've left the university. But thank you to you, the students, on behalf of the teaching staff. I do hope you've had a happy time, quite apart from the academic side. I hope you've had a happy time here at Leicester in the time that you've been here. Some of you will be continuing. I certainly did. I kept touch with some of my friends three actually, even though it was over 50 years ago, three of my friends I've kept in touch with. I'm sure you will with met my wife here, so, you know, who knows? I won't enter into any personal comments here, but that's always a possibility. And the friends can often remain friends throughout life. I like to tell this salutary lesson, though, just to put things in perspective a bit, that the three friends that I still keep in touch with and meet once every 18 months or so, we go out and have a meal and a drink together. Of the four of us, me and the other three, far and away the most successful, financially certainly, and in many other respects, was the one who failed his degree. So all I could say is whatever sort of hurdles you hit in life, all is not lost. There are plenty of sets of circumstances in which you can pick yourself up and dust yourself down, and you know how the song goes. So finally, I really want to reiterate what both of our recipients of honorary degrees today have had to say to you. I want to say good luck. Some say, of course, and I would agree with them, that luck is one of life's most important ingredients. It certainly has been in anyone like me who spent much of their life fighting elections and sometimes winning them and sometimes losing them. And it can be a matter of a few votes one way or the other, and you quickly come to the conclusion that there are some things that are a bit beyond your control, and you either win or you lose, and if that isn't luck, I don't know what is. But I do know that the degree that you've been awarded today will have shifted whatever odds in these stakes substantially in your favour for whatever lies ahead. I hope you'll keep in touch and tell us what you're doing, because of course your success, in part at least, is our success as well. Your predecessors over now more than half a century have contributed massively to making Leicester University the fine institution that it is today, and I know that you will all be adding to that. So to all of you, I offer this message: well done, thank you, and in the years ahead, most important of all, good luck and every success. And now the last formal part of the day is for me formally as Chancellor to declare this degree congregation closed.